Good morning, everybody. As a courtesy to your fellow media members, the coaches, and student athletes, please silence your cell phones at this time. Also, a reminder, recording press conference video is prohibited. We'll have 2 mic runners in the room. Please wait for the microphone to reach you before asking a question. When the microphone does reach you, please provide your name and media affiliation each time you ask a question during the press conference. For those joining us on Zoom, please use the raise hand function for questions. We'll address questions in the room first and take questions from Zoom if time permits. Now joining us are members from the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers, head coach Kevin Schnall, student athletes Blake Barthel, Caden Bodine, and Jacob Morrison. Gentlemen, again, congrats on reaching the championship finals. Coach Schnall, we'll start with an opening statement from you.
I fill this seat with gratitude, and I'd like to start by just expressing my gratitude first to our players. In June, when I was awarded this job, these guys, their level of commitment, the sacrifices they made, the investment that these guys put into this year, I'm grateful. Secondly is our staff. We talk a lot about is you're only as good as the people that you're around day after day, and I'm fortunate to have a staff that challenges me, that motivates me, that makes me better. Our associate head coach, Chad Oxendine, our pitching coach, Matt Williams, our infield hitting coach, Matt Schilling, our director of baseball operations, Mickey Beach, our director of player development, Tyler Shoemaker, our assistant director of player development, Connor Owings, our director of analytics, Matt Pepin, our strength and conditioning coach, Michael Thompson, our athletic trainer, Amanda Rothmeyer, our equipment manager, Jordan Bowman, our sport oversight, associate athletic director, Brian Stiles. I'm fortunate to be on their team. They make me better every day. Thirdly, our student managers. These guys invest more time into our program, or as much time in our program as anybody else. Our student managers play just as big a role in our success as Jacob Morrison, as Caden Bodine. And we're in this position today because of the sacrifices and work ethic of them. And then lastly, my family. Our kids, Sydney, Jaden, Fallon, my wife, Megan. They're the ones that have made the ultimate sacrifice to allow me to do what I do, and there's nobody that I want to make more proud of me than them. It's because I'm so proud of them.
We'll open it up to questions for the student athletes.
Noah Bieniek, 11.7. Question for Jacob. Coach ran through the entire staff, specifically Matt Williams, first year on the coaching staff. What has he helped you most throughout the year, and kind of overall pitching philosophy with the team?
So his pitching philosophy is that we have really good stuff and that we are going to attack the plate, in his words, and trust ourselves dominating teams that way. But helping me mostly was figuring out what works for me and what works for my body. You know, I'm a pretty big kid. A lot of times I don't really need those, coil things like that shorter kids use to get velocity. And he just really worked to design certain things that work for me and work for my body and getting most out of me.
Wilson Moore from the Omaha World Herald. For any of you three, just being on a 26-game winning streak, what does it take mentally? What's the preparation that goes into being ready to go, and what you've done to get there to this point?
Yeah, so I mean, we've been grinding now for 10 months, so that's been our preparation, and we have a game plan as Coach Schnall has put together, and we just, as long as we execute, everything will work out.
Noah Bieniek, 11.7. Question for Blake and Caden. Coach Schnall emphasizes scoring first often. Not always is at the top of the order, but in the first inning, in the 3 games you've played here, you guys have scored 8 runs. Can you just talk about that mentality going into the first inning and how well the staff scouts for you guys?
I think it just starts with quality at bats, and I mean the numbers don't lie. When you score first, get the 7, and win the big inning war. So we really take pride in that, and we try to execute that every single game.
Yeah, just exactly what Bodine said.
Jacob, I'm sure the moment you show up at Coastal, everyone talks about that 2016 season. So how do you go through an entire year, get to this point, while also knowing there's that history, maybe not looming above you guys, but it's definitely sort of there in the background?
I wouldn't say it's looming at all. I would say it's more inviting than anything. The 2016 team, there's a good amount of them that came back, and the amount of support and the amount of times that they've reached out to us has been unbelievable. Like Anthony Marks, I know he was a big part of that program. He has been by our side, and he texts a lot of us before every game. But then you go even further, you have Connor Owings on our staff. I mean, he was on that team, and he was one of the best players, and it's just really inviting to have that type of culture around, such a great winning culture.
Michael Cobble, WBRZ TV in Baton Rouge. For any of the players that would like to answer, I'd like two of you to answer if you could. Obviously, you've won a ton of games, right? Could you speak to the aura or charisma that comes with that? A team on a heater like that is often hard to beat, right? Because the belief that you guys obviously have in yourselves. I guess, what does that do for you, knowing that you're playing as well as you are at the right time of the season?
We're really just focused on playing Coastal baseball, honestly. I think our preparation gives us that confidence to go out there and win, so I think that really stems from that.
Yeah, and the pitching staff has been unbelievable. It allows the position players to relax and just play our game and execute the game plan.
Hey, Jacob, just talk about the recovery after throwing over 100-plus pitches the other night, your mindset coming into this weekend, and how you're feeling after obviously going pretty strong the other evening.
Yeah, we're at the point in the year where the recovery is very easy. My routine is so stapled in. We have all this amazing support staff around me that has geared me up to throw every single outing, and nothing really changes. I mean, I threw 109. I don't know if that was the most I've ever thrown, but one more outing in the year, right? I'll throw 150 if that's what it takes. I don't think anybody really cares. It's postseason now, and so recover, get ready.
A question here for Caden. Just talk about your adjustments moving to the leadoff spot after Dean kind of went down with the injury, and just what you've had to do. Obviously, you're a guy that gets on base, but just the adjustments you've had to make to go into the leadoff spot and to better your game.
Yeah, it was super unfortunate that Dean got hurt, but Coach asked me to bat leadoff, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue to get on base for the guys behind me, Seabass, Blake, Walker. They do an incredible job of just having quality at bats. So I think I embraced my role and just go out there and do anything that it takes.
Howard Borden, KOBM Omaha. Coach, players, congratulations for an outstanding job all season getting ready for the championship. So for Blake and Caden and Jacob always asked us every year, your thoughts on LSU. What do you admire just as student athletes and fans of baseball? What do you like about the Tigers?
Not a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, we're not really worried about the Tigers. We're more of just a self-oriented team. Like, we're just focused on our team and our team only.
I love that. I'm so glad I get to follow up that question and those answers. Corey Diaz with the USA Today Network. For any and all of you guys, it seems like the proverbial talk around the National Water Cooler is that they want you guys to win over LSU. It seems like you've kind of got the backing of everyone outside of Louisiana. So just talk about just having that support maybe from people that don't necessarily watch the Chanticleers, all year long, but they still want you guys to win this weekend.
I think it's awesome, to have others to follow our program, but I think we got to give a lot of credit to, Teal Nation. They travel extremely well, and they really take pride in rooting for us, and we need that energy out there, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, if people see the matchup on paper, LSU against Coastal Carolina, people would probably assume LSU is the favorite. They are the betting favorite. Do you guys consider yourselves underdog in the series?
We just like to play Coastal baseball. We have extreme confidence in everything that we do on both sides of the ball, and we're looking forward to competing against them. But I think at the end of the day, we take care of business on our side and just really respect the opponent. But honestly, playing Coastal baseball is the way to win.
Noah Bieniek, 11.7. If you look back in history of championship teams here in the College World Series in Omaha, they kind of learned through adversity and dry spells throughout the year. You guys started the year 10-2. You endured like an 8-6 stretch. You started 18-8 for the season. Your final 41 games, you're 38-3. Was there anything that you learned in February and March about this team that has helped you go on this crazy, incredible run, as Coach stated the other day?
I would say more than anything, we just got a lot closer, and like the culture just got better, and we decided that we'd rather win than lose, and so we went on that crazy run.
Yeah, and I think everyone kind of found their spot on the team, and everybody endured their position. And like Morrison said, we all got closer. We're brothers now, so it's been great.
Andon Brabham, Tiger TV. This one's for Caden. It's almost become mythic, your ability to receive the ball and make balls turn into strikes. Just talk about the process of catching this pitching staff and the work that you guys have done together as a battery to create something that's really special.
I think they make me look a lot better. They throw the ball where it's supposed to be about 99% of the time, so it all starts with that. And I think it also stems from understanding the pitching staff and the pitching style and realizing what each pitch does and how it'll move. So I think they've made my job extremely easy, and just it stems from preparation, and we're really proud to have Matt Williams. He's done a great job with the pitching staff as well.
Greg Eklund, this is for NPR for Caden. Caden, I've heard you use the expression a couple times, so how do you define Coastal baseball?
I think just playing short game, playing quality at bats, throwing competitive strikes, and just having timely hitting. I think that's the biggest way, and going out there and owning every single thing on the baseball field, and that's Coastal baseball for us.
Clayton Collier, First Alert 6. Guys, just wanted to ask you, in addition to obviously making CWS finals, just can you speak to how meaningful it is to have another weekend together, as you mentioned, the Brotherhood here?
I think it's something cherished, especially being in a hotel for 9 or 10 days now. It's really fun to be around these boys every day. More baseball means more time around them, and we're very close at this point. It's really fun to be around these boys.
Some of the road trips are definitely some of the best experiences. Having a roommate and all hanging out in the same rooms together it's really, really cool experience, and something we really are enjoying, and we're looking forward to just a few more days.
Yeah, no matter what happens afterwards, the team might not be as close as it is this year. And you just cherish those moments.
We're going to take one more for the student athletes.
This is for all you guys. What's your message to the Teal Nation back home? They can't make it up here to Omaha. They're obviously supporting you. There's a lot of watch parties, a lot of people back at home talking about this team. Just for all three of y'all, what's your message for them?
We thank them. We love Teal Nation and everyone that supports us. We love the support, and Sean's up.
They're the best support staff in the entire country, and we really appreciate them. When we hosted the regional, they're phenomenal, and Coach Schnall has done a great job of expanding the amount of fans that come to the game. We've broken several records at home, which is truly remarkable, and I think we have a really good fan base that we appreciate, and just looking forward to them watching.
Yeah, sport's been unbelievable, especially at home when that regional it was something special. And, we can feel the support, we can feel the energy and the buzz around it. It's really cool.
Okay, Blake, Cade, and Jacob, we appreciate your time, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, we'll open it up to questions for Coach Schnall.
Noah Bieniek, 11.7. Coach, I'm going to piggyback 2 questions off of you, if that's okay. I mentioned, or I talked to the guys, championship teams usually learn through adversity throughout the season. You began 18-8, you finished 38-3, and you're still playing here today in Omaha. They mentioned possibly learning some roles. Was there some player personnel things that you learned throughout the first 2 months of the season that have helped you go on this run late in the year?
No, not really. We talk a lot about work while you wait. Injuries are a reality of a season, unfortunately. We've had some injuries, and the guys that were working while they were waiting were ready for their opportunities, and that's what has enabled us to maintain the success that we have this year. But there's no direct situation that happened. At the end of the day, it all started in August when we all came together for the first time, and we feel like what separates Coastal baseball day in and day out is our attention to detail, and we have very high standards, and we're very consistent with holding everybody accountable to those standards.
The other day, when I mentioned how do you guys play so consistently, a couple answers you gave me were scoring first, winning the big inning battle. In doing that, over the 26-game win streak, 23 of those, Walker Mitchell has been batting in the top 4 of the lineup. Can you talk about, that kid? He began the year opening weekend batting 9th for you guys, and I feel like maybe has he taken some big steps for you guys throughout the season? And in a sport like baseball, it's hard to maintain consistency, yet you are 25-1 when he bats in the top 4 of the lineup.
That's a lot, what you just said, so let me try to figure this out. So scoring first is a big part of our offense, absolutely. We're 37-2 when we score first. When we get to 7, we're 37-1, and we win the big inning war, we're 42-1. So as a collective unit, that's what we're trying to do every single day. Walker Mitchell is a part of that unit, and he's done a great job of finding ways on base. He broke a single-season record with hit by pitches. He can inside game, and he has a lot of really quality at bats, and that's why he's moved himself up in the lineup.
Coach, as a member of that 2016 staff, what do you remember about that series against Jay Johnson in Arizona, and how does that experience sort of against him help you this week?
Well, the biggest difference between this year and 16 was all the shampoo and body spray that we got every time we showed up to the ballpark. We don't get it this year for some reason. We would like it because we've talked a lot about it. I actually still have some of the body spray from 16. There's not an expiration date, so I'm still using some. That's the biggest difference, and the fact that we didn't lose. But there's no experience we're taking from 16. None of these players were on 16. This team is different than 2016. Our goal every day is just to really keep a microscopic focus and dominate our one-day plan. This team has done that at an extreme high level, and that's why we're one of 2 teams in the entire country still playing.
Wilson Moore from the Omaha World Herald. Kevin, having been part of a CWS team before, at what point did you know this team had the makeup to get to the point it's at now?
Game 2 of Auburn when we beat them.
Why is that?
Because then we advanced here. Again, we're never talking about winning games. It's all about the process and winning pitches, and then ultimately winning outs, winning innings, and bunching quality at bats together. And if we do that day after day, winning is a byproduct. Getting to Omaha is a byproduct. And that's why we're in this position right now.
Kevin, I got 2 questions. Who are you going with tomorrow? If you could explain, if you even want to put that out there. Second question is, what did you learn in 16 as a coaching staff? Because a lot of these guys, you and Shill were obviously on that squad, that could help you as a head coach now prepare for this series. without the bodies break?
Without the bodies break. Cam Flukie will be starting tomorrow. And what did we learn from 2016 that could help us? It's more about next year, honestly. You know, there's a lot of distractions after winning a national championship or being in this position. And it's really important that, you know, we stay focused next year on our goals. I think that was a big deal. If you remember, you know, in 2007, we did not make an NCAA regional. It was a good team, but we didn't make an NCAA regional. There was a lot of distractions that fall because there were a lot of people that were, you know, wanting our players and wanting, you know, our people to be at different things. And again, I think it took away from our preparation in that fall before the 07 season. You know, I think one of the biggest years in Coastal was, well, a couple. 01 was the first team that got us to a regional. And then we ended up winning five straight conference championships, 5 straight tournament championships. In 05 was the first team to be the #1 seed of a regional, but they put us on the road to Arizona State. 06, we were 30-27. And it was a great wake-up call. It was humbling. And to Gilly's credit, he was the leader at that time. We all rallied around each other. We didn't point fingers. And we realized that we needed to be humbled. And we needed to get back to the basics. 07 was our first host. 08, we hosted again and was our first regional championship. So those years were pretty critical. And then obviously 2010 was one of the best teams that we ever had. We were the #4 national seed, won the regional, lost in the super regional, 2 one-run games to the eventual national champion. And then 2016, obviously finally broke through, got us to Omaha, and won it.
Michael Cobble, WBRZ TV in Baton Rouge. The guys used the phrase coastal baseball a couple of times. What does that mean to you, whether that be attitude or approach? And then anything that you've identified that LSU does particularly well?
Well, coastal baseball, you have to have a certain type of energy level to play at Coastal Carolina. If you like baseball, Coastal's not the program for you. 2 pillars of Coastal Carolina are the words relentless and selfless. And relentless is basically doing everything to your best of your ability every single day. And selfless is having an others-centered mindset versus a self-centered mindset. And that is non-negotiable in our program. Regarding LSU, it's pretty simple. They've got power on both sides of the ball. They have over 100 home runs. They've got over 700 strikeouts. That combination is very dangerous.
Just a reminder to silence your cell phones.
Hi, Kevin. Corey Diaz with the USA Today Network. Wanted to get your thoughts on everyone outside of the state of Louisiana pulling for Coastal Carolina this weekend. How cool is that, or is that something you don't even worry about?
Well, I would start by the Chanticleer Athletic Foundation. It's a great opportunity to give back and donate, and all the support matters.
Kevin, you kind of touched it all already, but coming full circle as a player, as a coach, and as an assistant coach and now a head coach here, just talk about what it means to you to see this program over the last couple of decades, whenever you were a player until now, to see the success.
Well, it all started with a chance. You know, Coach Gilmore gave me a chance back in 1997 to play Division I baseball at Coastal Carolina. Then in 2000, he gave me a chance to be a coach on his staff. And if it wasn't for those chances, I'm not sure where I'm at today. And just to see not only Coastal baseball, but Coastal Carolina University grow into what it is today is really special.
Ryan McGee from ESPN. You kind of touched on that there, Coach, but this is your alma mater. How much does it mean to you, and you've been here before with this team in different roles, but how much does it mean to you, or have you given yourself a chance to even think about this is your school, and you've got them in this position this weekend at the College World Series?
I listen to your show a lot. Good to see you. I love Coastal. I love Coastal with all my heart. You know, I've had opportunities. For me, it was never about being a head coach. It was about being the head coach at Coastal Carolina. And, you know, I waited 24 years for this opportunity. And like I said, when I started, I fill this seat with gratitude. There's not a day that goes by I take this opportunity for granted. It's an opportunity of a lifetime. It's an honor of a lifetime. And to be on this stage, on this platform, with this program, it's really special.
Matt Satilli, KETV Omaha. Coach, you've talked about, in the back, you've talked throughout the week how this hasn't been a Cinderella story. What would a second national title this weekend mean to this program?
That'd be 2 national championships in 9 years. That would put Coastal Carolina baseball on a different planet. That'd put Coastal Carolina University in a really good position. And again, that's really special. But it's not about winning a national championship at this point. It's about winning today's practice. And that's what's really important. At 12 o'clock, we have to win the next hour and a half. We've got to have a great session today. And then we've got to win tomorrow's BP. And then it's about just winning pitches, not worrying about outs, winning pitches. And if you win pitches, you'll start getting outs. And before you know it, you hold that up.
We're going to take one more question for Coach.
John Eads, WFB TV in Baton Rouge. Coach, obviously you've been a part of lengthy win streaks before, I'm sure. You talk about the process. Obviously you don't plan on losing. What would your process be for if y'all were to lose a game and bouncing back quickly in the series this weekend?
Well, the staff would yell at the players a lot. We've won 26 straight. If we lost, how would we react? How would we respond? The reality is we've got to dissect what we did wrong and try to rectify it for the next day. You know, and that's what we've done a great job of this year is we've dove into things that, you know, we could correct, and our players were able to adapt and adjust very quickly.
Okay, that'll conclude this press conference. At this time, we're going to welcome LSU head coach Jay Johnson to the dais for a photo opportunity with the trophy. Coach Knoll, we appreciate your time. Okay, we'll go through the reminders once again before we get going. As a courtesy to our fellow media members, the coaches and student athletes, please silence your cell phones at this time. Recording press conference video on cell phones is prohibited. Please provide your name and media affiliation each time you ask a question during the press conference. We'll have 2 mic runners. Please wait for the microphone to reach you before asking a question. Now joining us are members of the LSU Tigers, head coach Jay Johnson, student athletes Jake Brown and Anthony Ianson. Gentlemen, again, congratulations on reaching the championship finals. Coach Johnson, will begin with an opening statement from you.
Yeah, it's awesome to be here. In my opinion, this is one of the best days on the college baseball calendar with 307 teams in Division I. To be one of the last two playing and practicing today in Charles Schwab Field is a great honor and a testament to the hard work and execution of our team. I've documented it a lot. I would coach this team forever, and obviously the talent on it is exceptional. You know, just like with these two guys here, Anthony and Jake across the roster, but great people, completely bought into the mission of the team, and tremendous self-discipline, tremendous mental strength to go along with that talent, and very worthy of playing in the championship series, and very excited about the next couple days. Looking forward to playing a great opponent in Coastal Carolina, and Coach Schnall. I've known him for a very long time, consider him a friend, and have obviously had long-term respect for a program that's been one of the best in college baseball over the last couple decades. So wouldn't want to have it any other way, and very thankful for the team and the efforts that they put forward to put us in this position, and looking forward to a great championship series.
We'll open it up to questions for the student athletes. A reminder to state your name and media affiliation.
Andon Brabham, Tiger TV in Baton Rouge. This one's for Jake here in the back. As a young man from the state of Louisiana, growing up as an LSU fan, growing up in the culture, going to games, how important is it for you to represent not only LSU but the state of Louisiana and all the youth baseball players in the state on a stage like this, and how important is that for you in this moment?
I mean, it's awesome. This is something that I've dreamed of my entire life, as I know a lot of the other Louisiana guys on our team have. And this is everything that you've worked for coming up. I mean, in Louisiana, your dream is to play baseball for LSU, and then what goes with that is being able to represent it at the highest level of college baseball, which is something that this program's been able to do year in and year out. And really just super thankful for the opportunity that I've been gifted with, and looking to make the most out of it.
For Jake, Scooter Hobbs, Lake Charles, American Press. When you're not starting, it's almost inevitable that sometime you're going to pinch hit. How do you stay ready for that?
Yeah, I think the coaching staff does a really good job of having me prepared and letting me know kind of when my opportunity will come. And so just being able to stay focused, stay ready during the game, knowing that the second my name's called upon, it'll be an opportunity for me to help the team win. So it's just taking it one pitch at a time, being where my feet are, and just staying prepared.
Michael Cobble, WBRZ TV in Baton Rouge, for both Jake and Anthony, if you could. Coastal's coach was just in here talking about microscopic focus and attention to detail, and when he says those things, I think immediately of your coach, right? Could you speak to the amount of preparation that Jay and the staff provide you guys? Any details that you would like to share about, like how it's helped you prepare for a game, and how it might impact obviously the biggest games in your life coming up?
I'll go first. Yeah, I think Coach Johnson is really good at simplifying the task for our team, just helping us understand that, no matter the situation, you're just playing the game, and the game is always going to be the same. So I think that he just does a really good job of preparing us.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, in our meetings before the games, there's a very clear set of instructions on what every guy needs to do to be able to be his best to help the team win in any given moment. And so everything's really straightforward for us. I mean, we came here to play baseball. We're not really scholars. So he does a great job of laying it out for us, and making going out there and executing as simple as it can be. So super thankful for that.
Noah Bieniek, 11.7. This question's for both of you, either of you, whoever wants to take it first, go ahead. Going back throughout some championship teams here in the College World Series in Omaha, they learn through adversity throughout the year. You guys started the season 22-1, and your last 13 games you're 11-2. SEC play was, where you could have faced the biggest competition, the most adversity. What have you guys learned about, one, the position play group, two, the pitching staff?
You got it.
I would say that this is a really battle-tested team. I mean, we've played in just about every type of baseball game you can play in, from blowing people out to getting beat to coming back in games to winning with just by one run. I mean, it's a team that's really seen it all, and I think it speaks to the toughness of our team. The pitching staff is always ready to hand the ball off to the next guy. That guy always is ready to come in and do his job. And I think for the position players, it's just like we have 15 guys that can affect a game at any given moment, and it's just being ready to come in, do it one pitch at a time. Like there's no lead that we can't come back from, and I think we've known that, which is, I mean, with 2 outs the other night, we're down by 2 runs still, and we're able to put together some tough at-bats to come back right there. So, I mean, it's a team that's really seen it all and is prepared to do anything. I think that's going to help us in the long run.
Scott Rapollet with the Baton Rouge Advocate. For Anthony, Jacob Morrison was in here saying he's willing to pitch 150 pitches if he has to in his start, and I'm sure you feel similarly. But your situation is kind of one of you might start and have a long outing, and then you might be asked to come in and get some key outs in relief. Just how do you approach that in terms of preparation and being willing to do whatever is asked at this in such a crucial series?
Yeah, I think that just comes with me week in and week out, being prepared for anything. And I think Coach Yeski and Coach Johnson do a really good job for just preparing our whole pitching staff to be able to pitch, whenever they have to, just in the best position to help the team win. I'm fine with pitching whenever, pitching, closing games, starting games. So I think just up to this point in the season, I've been prepared for it.
John Eads, WFB TV in Baton Rouge. Question for Jake, just because you were on the team last year. Coach said what y'all maybe lacked last season was a little bit of toughness, and that's maybe one of the reasons why y'all have been a little more successful this year. And, it's one thing to talk about having that, but what was the process like of adding that to this year's team, and how do y'all exemplify that?
I think a lot of it goes with having the right guys on the bus. I mean, we have a locker room full of guys that show up every day, super excited to be able to compete with people that are not just their teammates, but their best friends. I mean, we have a super close-knit group of guys that nobody wants to stop playing with each other. We want to have this team for as long as we can, and part of that goes with just not giving in. So it's a lot of guys that know that they're competing for each other, one common goal, and it's we're going to try to keep this team for as long as we can, so no reason to lay down now.
And in Brabham Tiger TV, this is another one for Jake. Coach Johnson talks a lot about being one-run ready. What does that look like for you guys stepping into the box, and especially for you when you're in a pinch hit role a lot of the time? What does that preparation look like throughout a game and before a game?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's pretty laid out of what every guy needs to do to help a team win, and it's just really being focused, being where your feet are, and ultimately not trying to do too much. I mean, one-run games are normally won via a lot of a group effort, guys just passing the stick to the next guy and doing whatever it takes to come out on top right there, and that showed the other night. I mean, guys weren't trying to do too much. We were hitting the ball low and hard, able to have a couple fortunate plays go our way and then swing at the end. Like, Jared knew that he didn't have to hit a home run to win the game right there, so he just was able to stay where his feet are, hit the ball low and hard, and that's what got it done for us that night.
Chesson Boucher with NBC 33 in Baton Rouge. Jake, since the postseason, Coach Johnson has talked about how things ended in the Chapel Hill Regional. Have you used that as motivation throughout this postseason?
A little bit, yes and no. I mean, I took a lot of pride in kind of fleshing that moment to ultimately be prepared to be the best player that I could be this year. So, I mean, in a way, yeah, like obviously I want to go out and compete and win a national championship. I don't think that it has so much to do with last year because the type of player that I am, I like to play pretty confidently. And so I know that I'm able to trust the work that I put in and trust my preparation and trust the coaching staff and the guys around me. So it's a lot of focus on this year, and that's kind of been the motto all year.
Ross Aboud with the LSU rivalry. Anthony, obviously, last outing against UCLA, don't start the best, give up those 3 runs. You never really got the chance to settle in. This Coastal team preaches scoring first. It's one of their big things that they just talked about. What's your mindset to stop that?
Yeah, to not let them score in the first. That's all it is.
Scooter Hobbs, Lake Charles American Press again. I'm sorry, Jake, when you were growing up, what do you remember most about growing up as an LSU fan and wanting to play there?
Yeah, I just remember being a little kid that would come to the games and watch the games on TV, and those guys were like superheroes to me growing up. And so it's been a real pleasure of mine, something that I'm super thankful for, that I'm able to be that person nowadays. I mean, I enjoy giving back to the people that are just like me. That's why, like, if you look out, I'm tossing the ball into the stands to a little kid or something, just because I was in those shoes once and I know how much it means to be a little kid that's a fan of the LSU Tigers.
Kind of on that same vein for both of you, there's an incredible amount of spotlight when you play at LSU, and all of your successes are magnified, but so are your failures, I guess. How do you navigate that? Knowing Jake, kind of like you said, there's a good and bad to it, I guess. And then just Anthony, how new was that for you when you got to LSU, and how have you dealt with it?
Yeah, obviously, big crowd difference for me coming from UC San Diego here. I honestly didn't really think about it too much, just knowing that if I play a full season in front of fans, they're going to see me play good and bad. So just kind of took that how it is, just kind of disregard it and just play my game.
Yeah, I would say nobody dreams about playing in an empty ballpark. Like when you're a kid, when you're taking swings in the backyard, when you're doing all this stuff, you're dreaming about playing at the biggest spotlight, and that's what LSU is. I mean, if you want the chance to come and play the closest thing to professional baseball at a college level, this is where you come.
Koki Riley with The Advocate. Anthony, you mentioned how Nate Yeske does a very good job of laying out a specific game plan for you guys for the pitchers. What does that actually look like? Does he meet with you guys individually in terms of you're going to start today or you're probably going to come out of the bullpen today? And like, how does he sort of simplify things exactly?
Yeah, it'll be via conversation. Just tell him how I'm feeling. He'll kind of talk to Coach Johnson about what they're thinking about and expecting out of us pitchers, and yeah, I'll just keep relaying how I feel and things like that.
Clayton Collier with First Alert 6 back here. Jake, as you mentioned, is lifelong LSU fan. What do you remember about 2016 and that Coastal Carolina Super?
I mean, a little bit of heartbreak. I mean, that was a great team, a team that I think could have made a good run in the championship. Obviously, things didn't go our way that time, so looking forward to turning around and making something good happen for us this time.
We'll take one more for the student athletes.
Jacques Doucet, WABTV in Baton Rouge. I assume you guys play teams at times who have a chip on your shoulder because you're LSU. Coastal kind of made it clear they're not here to compliment LSU in the history. They're here to beat you. How do you counter that? Is it just LSU baseball as it always is?
Yeah, I mean, it's the other team. I think they're here to beat us, just like we're here to beat them. So I think if we execute and play our game, we'll have good results.
Yeah, kind of the same thing. I mean, we've trained all year. We've been together since August for this. This isn't something that caught us by surprise. We knew we were meant to be here, and that's what everything that we've done, everything that we've set forth, all the hard work, all the preparation has brought us to this moment, and ready to go out there and compete and bring home number 8.
Jake, Anthony, we appreciate your time. Good luck this weekend, and try to stay cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll now open it up to questions for Coach.
Coach Johnson, Chris Parks from News 13 in Myrtle Beach. Congratulations on getting to the national championship. Two-part question. Can you talk about your relationship with head coach Kevin Schnall? And then secondly, just the 16 heartbreak against Coastal Carolina when you were coaching with Arizona, please.
Yeah, for sure. I met Kevin a long time ago. Something that I learned early on was study the people that are the best at what they do. Skip Bertman, Augie Garrido, and then Gary Gilmore. I was very impressed with their program. I was at a mid-major at University of San Diego as the associate head coach for 8 years, and they were kind of one that we were kind of modeling and emulating on the West Coast. And so paying attention to what they were doing, and then going out recruiting and trying to make us a national program and going after the best players. I ran into Kevin on the recruiting front, and then just having good baseball conversations. And then, what I've always admired about him is the pride that he's taken in his job as a recruiting coordinator and now as the head coach. So ton of respect there. As far as 2016, unique situation for us. I went to Arizona and I didn't have one player that had ever played in the NCAA tournament before, and we were picked 10th out of 11 in the Pac-12. And the fall we were really grinding to kind of see what we were going to be, and it wasn't like a smooth deal. And then we came back in January, and there was about 5 pitchers that you started to look at and go, we're pretty good. And then a position player group that, part of the reason I accepted that job because I thought there was players that could play better than they had to that point in their career. And we got the ball rolling a little bit. I think we opened at Rice, and they were ranked in the top 10, and we won 2 out of 3 and got some good wins on the board, built some confidence. And then in the postseason, played really well, won regional at Louisiana Lafayette, super regional at Mississippi State, got here, and if I remember correctly, we both lost the second game and then had to both fight our way back to the losers bracket, and then won a 3-0 game and lost 2 one-run games. And this is my spot in the world is Omaha. Like, this is what I dream about, and the first time being here, I just remember being very thankful to play 8 games, and in the moment was really tough. And it's no different than how I feel about this team or the 23 team or when we came here in 21 at Arizona, as they deserve to be here. And you want them to experience the full thing. And we were 1 base hit away, and it took a couple years to get past that. But it doesn't change how I feel about Cody Raymer, Bobby Dahlbeck, JJ Matajevic, Cameron Ming. I heard from all those guys in the last 2 days about our win the other night. So that's how close that was, and it really reminds me of this team, actually. But I think what I do remember about all of that is it's really helped me the next 3 times that we've been here in terms of knowing how to prepare for this, and that was kind of my main takeaway from it.
Scooter Hobbs, Lake Charles, American Press. With both of them being left-handers, how do you handle that right field platoon, so to speak? How do you make the decision, I guess?
Yeah, I've never even really looked at it as a platoon, or nor have I ever looked at Josh or Jake as not a full-time starter. We have a national championship in 2023 largely because of Josh Pearson, both defensively and offensively, and there's nothing that he has not seen over the course of a 4-year college baseball career. If you ask me, and I don't mean this from a statistical value, but who's had the most complete 4-year career of the last 4 years of college baseball in terms of national championship, Omaha experience, regional, super regional, high level throughout the season, Josh Pearson would definitely be on that list. And Jake, in my opinion, is one of the best players on our team and provides a lot and is one of the main reasons we are here in this position. So it's literally looking at it game by game. And, we've been very fortunate with our outfield situation. Chris Stanfield's been a tremendous center fielder. Derek Curiel has to be on a very short list of one of the best freshmen in the country. And so to have 4, and even I would throw Ashton Larson into that too, 5 guys that you can run out there, not many programs have that. So we look at it game by game and try to put them all in positions to be successful, and I think we've done a good job of that this year.
Alan Blondin with Myra News in Myrtle Beach. Jay, what aspects of your team, your program, your season do you believe may give you an advantage in the series, if there is an advantage to be had?
Yeah, I think if you're at this point in the NCAA tournament, you've been battle tested, so I think that's just the way that it is. I think for our team, I don't believe there's anything we have not seen. And what I mean by that is high-level pitching, high-level bullpen, high-level defense, offenses with speed, power, hitting skills, know how to play the game, move the offense. So I feel like we're very prepared. And we really just leave it at that. I said this earlier in the week. One of my attitudes about all of this is everything is training for something. And I feel like we're well-trained, well-prepared for, in my opinion, probably the best team that we've played this year in Coastal.
Noah Bieniek, 11.7. Coach, after the Arkansas game, you mentioned that there was nobody in the city of Omaha that was happier than you that you were getting 1-2 days off, too, that you weren't playing on Thursday. I assume over the 2 days you've looked at Coastal. What do you assume are their strengths that you're preparing for? And also, Coach Schnall revealed their Game 1 starter. Are you willing to do the same?
Well, I didn't hear that yet officially, so I trust you. But and when I know, everybody else will know. So, no, I would not at this point in time. What was the question before that?
What have you learned through scouting Coastal?
Yeah, a lot, and nothing really of a surprise. I love college baseball, so there was a Tuesday or Wednesday night game. They were playing against Clemson. I was at home. We weren't playing, so maybe it was a Wednesday night, and I watched them play Clemson. So the strengths are undeniable. Great starting rotation, use their bullpen really well. Offensively, clear identity. I think that's really important. Something we try to do as well is play to the identity of your team. They're excellent at getting the leadoff man on base. They use the bunting game about as good as anybody that does in college baseball. And again, that's a 20-year thing. That's not a 20-25 team thing. They play really good defense. They don't beat themselves. You have to win the game. And I said this very similarly to when we played UCLA the other day. You have to win the game because they're very fundamentally sound, and they're gonna play the right way. So you have to execute your game plan and execute your fundamentals to earn the win against them.
Jay, Scott Rabelais with The Advocate. With all the weather delays issues this year, how much have you had to embrace your inner meteorologist? And to that end, the weather forecast for Saturday and Sunday anyway is very hot, with the wind just potentially howling in from right or from center, maybe blowing it out a little bit to left. You prepare for a lot of different things. How much does the weather or the potential weather factor into your preparation?
I didn't hear you say anything about lightning, right? All right, then I'm good with everything else. No, it's just part of the deal, and we talked about it after the Monday, Tuesday, game with UCLA. It's like, if I could control the weather, I wouldn't be a college baseball coach. I'd probably be doing something else. But it's just part of the deal, and I'm really thankful. See Randy here and the staff, how they handled that, the professionalism, a lot of smart people working on it to keep the integrity of the games and the integrity of the tournament. From a coach's chair, when you're competing for a championship, that's really important. And so thank you for that, and great job. As far as the conditions, playing all 8 games here in 2023, we had wind blowing straight in for the majority of the tournament, and then we had the wind blowing out that one game against Florida, and it's shifted. And it's just something that you kind of expect, this time of year, and the conditions change. As far as the heat, just want the players to be ready for that, and we've dealt with it in the postseason. The Super Regional Game 1 against West Virginia is no question the hottest baseball game I've ever been a part of. I just stood on the top steps, gave signs, walked out, made a couple pitching changes, and Saturday night I was like, man, that was something else. I don't know how Luis Hernandez or Steven Milam or Kate Anderson getting through 7 innings in that game were doing it. So luckily, we've had a lot thrown at us that I think keeps us prepared, and just try to stay out ahead of it and use all things to our advantage.
Hey, Jay. Corey Diaz with the USA Today Network and the Daily Advertiser. It seems like outside of the state of Louisiana, America's rooting interest is with Coastal. Do you guys like that?
I wouldn't even know how to gauge that. They're a great program for a long time. LSU is a great program for a long time. 2 worthy opponents in the College World Series, and it'll make for excellent baseball. Fortunately, being in this deal 3 times, you're not playing a team that doesn't care about and invest in baseball in the championship series, or really in the College World Series. So I think it's awesome.
Ryan McGee, ESPN. Coach, a lot of people this weekend will focus on the differences between an LSU and a Coastal, a Sun Belt versus SEC and all that. What would you tell those folks that there's maybe more similarities between the programs than they realize?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of similarities. I would say recruiting at an elite level, and that might mean different things. I think I have a unique perspective on this. I haven't always been at LSU, or even Arizona. It was, Point Loma Nazarene, University of San Diego, University of Nevada. And I know what it's like to try to build one of those, and when you knock off that Power 5, how that lifts you in the regular season, not only in the postseason, and the attitude that you have to carry, to be that and to do that. So I have great respect for that, but this is about execution, and it's about baseball, and it's about pitchers throwing strikes, your defense handling the ball, your offense stringing quality at bats together. And when I look at their team, I see a lot of our team.
Ainsley Flood, the Reveille. Something you've praised a lot about this team this season is their maturity and their mental strength. Exactly how big was that in pushing through the Arkansas game, and how crucial will that be this weekend?
It was everything in that game, and it'll be everything this weekend. And, the longer I do this, the older I get, it really simplifies of what you need to do to get here and to succeed here. And I think that was on full display. And how the game transpired and the end of it like kind of flooded me with like, I can't believe we just did that. But at the same time, we've done it several times this year. And I'm just very impressed with our players' ability to focus on the task at hand, focus on execution, completely eliminate the external, and focus on what's relevant. Like, that's a core principle of our program, is focusing on what's relevant. And these guys do a great job of that.
John Eads, WFB TV in Baton Rouge. Coach, after the regional, you mentioned that y'all had a big players meeting. The players spoke. I'm wondering, since that meeting, what was said that's been impactful, and how has the team evolved since then and gone on this tear in the Supers and obviously here in Omaha?
Yeah, I think, again, whether it's Omaha, Super Regional, we don't attach anything to it. We try to be awesome at our process of winning, and part of that is feedback. There's a really good book called Legacy about the All Blacks rugby team that never lost, and there's a core principle in there of team and player meetings and then presenting feedback for improvement, and even as you're at the top of your game, adjusting and improving. And that's just something that I've tried to bring to the program. And we did it the other night. This was unbelievable. I wasn't going to stop the celebration and go like, okay, guys, now let's break the game down here. But when we got back to the hotel, we needed to do it. And, so Chase Shore's, coming up and talking, and Jacob Myers coming up, and Zach Cowan coming up and talking. That's just like part of our deal. So I actually don't even remember specifically which one you were talking about, just because it's kind of commonplace with how we roll.
Michael Cobble, WBRZ TV in Baton Rouge. I asked the players about handling the spotlight, and clearly you have a lot of, eyes on your program, I guess. How have you instructed them, or what tools have you used to help them navigate their successes and failures?
It's a really good question. It's honestly one of the reasons I took the job in the first place, was to test myself, test what I believe in, and spotlight, no spotlight. The fundamentals of winning and running an elite Division I baseball program are exactly the same. And our opponent does it really well. And we do it really, really well. And it's proven to work out the way that I thought it would. But I wanted to test it in an arena where it's only a blessing to have so many people care about what you're doing. And that is what I will say about LSU, is there's not another baseball program in the entire country where more people care about what you're doing. And I think it's an awesome honor for these players, because their effort deserves people to care about what they're doing. No different than our opponent. And but I think it's something that makes it special. But the challenge, not the challenge, the coaching point is of, regardless if one person is watching or the eyes of the world are on you, execution is execution. And toughness is your ability to focus on what you need to do to execute your plan, regardless of circumstances.
We're going to have time for one more question for Coach.
Koki Riley with The Advocate. Coach, after the Little Rock loss, it felt like you guys found a formula with the lineup for lefties and for righties that has sort of really helped out and worked out for you guys up to this point. What did you sort of learn in that game that sort of informed the sort of formulas for lefties and righties up to now?
Yeah, I don't know that it has to do with left or right so much. I had this year, when we were 31-3, or somebody 22-1, somebody had said, and caught a really good roll of what the formula for winning was with this team early in the season. And then you're going to get tested with the schedule that we play and exposed, which in my opinion is a good thing. And I mentioned that everything is training for something and being built for postseason play. All of that was kind of thrown into a bucket to move us closer to our best team. And you guys have heard me say for 4 years, we treat every game like a playoff game, because forget Omaha, being in the NCAA tournament is not a birthright. You have to win games. And so I think we were just continually using the season as it came along to find out what works best. And just even to the other night, it was a grind to get to the starting lineup, knowing what Arkansas was going to do, what they had available in the bullpen. And it literally probably took till like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So it doesn't have as much to do with how you set it as how the players execute. And we have them all in a really good space to execute at a high level, and they have talent and they have ability, and you can win against some of the best teams in the country. As far as that game, I don't remember anything specifically that kind of catapulted us forward.
That'll conclude our press conference. Coach Johnson, we appreciate your time and good luck this weekend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hammond Communications will post a recording of this press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at ncaa.veritone.com. Transcripts are provided by ASAP and will be posted shortly. Thank you for joining us.